Greetings, everybody, and welcome to MLSnet.com's Extra Time. I'm your host, Greg Wallace, alongside, as always, Shep Messing. And this week, we're talking about the big New York-LA bonanza. And a little later on, Clint Mathis from the New York Red Bulls will join us. Cuauhtemoc Blanco with a brilliant goal, leading his Chicago Fire to a win. And Chivas USA making a resurgence in the Western Conference. Now, Shep, we have to start with Saturday night's 5-4 win for New York over LA, the two biggest markets, and they put on a great show out at Giant Stadium. 66,000 fans out there.
Greg, it was unbelievable. It really surpassed the expectations. There was a buzz, an anticipation. I got there at 4 o'clock in the parking lot, tailgating, 66,000 people coming in, soccer people, wearing jerseys, and then really a game that was heroic. Tremendous game, great night for Major League Soccer.
I think this was the spectacle that the league has always hoped it would be. I mean, I know us, the younger guys, have always hoped this would be. You know, where does this fit in the context of the game, though? We know the game was good. What's the context in terms of history? Is this a watershed moment for MLS, do you think?
Greg, I think it is, and let's announce it on this show. For me, the Cosmos are dead. I was there 30 years ago.
Heard it here.
Pele, Beckenbauer, the same type of crowd. Leave them in the past. They have a great legacy. I think this game has that much impact. That was a Red Bulls crowd, a Major League Soccer crowd.
Well, on behalf of the younger generation, Shep, I thank you for that one, because we have always thought that the past needed to go away and we move forward. Now, these two teams, of course, they need to start moving forward. LA, another loss. They haven't gotten many points lately. You know, I have a feeling they're not going to make the playoffs, actually. They need to do something out there. New York, however, starting to play well, starting to move in the Eastern Conference. Josie out the door. Juan Pablo Angel, some names that people maybe didn't know. Both had 2 goals each. I mean, they're starting to move in the Eastern Conference.
I think you're right about LA. Beckham was heroic, but I think it's slipping away. For New York, this was an important game. 3 points, and they really showed their versatility in the attacking third of the field. They've got some weapons going forward. Bruce Arena, after the game, obviously said, we have some problems on the defensive side of the ball.
You give up 5 goals, right? Or 4 goals, yeah.
Yeah, but a big game. I think New York has a question in goal. Waterroos still hurt. Maybe John Conway goes in, but a good step for New York.
Well, you talk about the attack for New York moving forward, and the spearhead of that attack was this past weekend, Clint Mathis. And we're joined now by Clint Mathis of the New York Red Bulls. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, thank you.
We have to start with Saturday night's game, obviously. I mean, an incredible spectacle. What are your reflections on that?
I mean, it was obviously a great game to be a part of. It's, you know, one of the best games I've been associated with, obviously, in this league. You know, there was a lot of hype around it, obviously, with David coming into town, having 66,000 people, and to show him a game to have 9 goals in would definitely attract any non-soccer fan to the sport. So I think it was a game that was great for the Red Bulls franchise and also for the league. I don't think that they could have asked for a better outcome and a better showing of both teams.
Hey, Clint, after a game like that, you can either have a big letdown or hopefully for New York, this could be a signature game. I thought the team looked extremely good in the attacking part of the field.
You know, the object of the game is to score more than the other team, and so we were able to do that. But hopefully, you know, we can tighten things down in the back and get back to playing like we usually are.
Now, the other big story this week was Cuauhtemoc Blanco of the Chicago Fire. He's sort of the second star after Beckham, and he had a brilliant game this weekend and scored one gorgeous goal for the Chicago Fire when they won 2-0 against Real Salt Lake. Now, Shep, where does Chicago's movement, where does Cuauhtemoc Blanco fit into the Chicago Fire, and how has he really helped them to become this team that's all of a sudden very hard to beat?
Well, first of all, Greg, we were talking before, and I thought you made a great point. I think all the publicity, adulation for the pretty boy, Beckham, has motivated Blanco, the temperamental bad boy, even more. I think he's been unbelievable.
Well, he certainly has an ego. We've seen that for years with the Mexican national team, and I agree with you. I think, you know, that ego is pushing him to get a little better and to prove to everyone else. It's like, well, you guys can talk about Beckham all you want, but I'm a better player than Beckham is.
Well, I think Chicago's going to do well. They're still on the outside looking in. They have to chase Columbus, but I think Blanco's that critical component for them. Not only a goal scorer, he can play in the midfield and really be a link between the back and the guys up top.
Well, we'll see what Chicago can do. They still need some work in the defense, but certainly the attack has picked it up.
Yeah, obviously I'm very happy about it. Very glad to be here and try to give as much as I can to help the team out. They've taken me in right away. You know, they made me feel comfortable, which is great for a player coming in. This is my second practice with them, and I feel comfortable with the team. Whether it's scoring goals, getting assists, or just helping the team keep the ball and moving it around, I think I'll be doing my job.
So most of the people out west are talking about FC Dallas and Houston, who played to a 1-0 win for Houston over the weekend. But the real story is Chivas USA. And as you just heard, they picked up Ramon Nunez, and he sounds very happy to be out of Dallas and into Chivas USA, where it's a good, young, striking, attacking type player who I've always been a fan of. And I think under Preki he's going to do very well.
I like the Chivas team. You know that, Greg. I like the spine of the team. Brad Guzan, Suarez, Jesse Marsh, Ante Razov. And I think this kid Nunez is a great addition. Flair, creativity on the ball.
Well, you know, Preki's building a team that has lots of flair. Don't forget Michael Galindo up there with all that speed and all that goal scoring. Now, Chivas is making a move on the West, and I'm actually going to predict that they're going to catch Houston or Dallas. I don't know if they can overtake them, but they're going to make it interesting by the end of the season in the Western Conference.
Well, that's crazy,
Well,
my partner.
yeah,
but I like the
sometime.
Chivas team, and if Houston or Dallas has a slip, you know, maybe they'll get there.
Well, we'll see what they can do out in the Western Conference. A good move for Ramon Nunez as Chivas makes a move in the West. Next Wednesday, the Super League finals take place at the Home Depot Center between Los Angeles Galaxy and Pachuca. Now, looking at the Superliga this year for 2007, I have to say it's been a wild success. Every single game has been terrific. The Pachuca-Houston game was arguably one of the best played games on North American soil in the last 10 years. And I think this is something that the league has to continue every year and continue to get better every year. You put $1 million on the line and players will play, and they'll play with heart and passion. You make it Mexico against the US, and they're going to play with even more heart and passion. Superliga, well done. It's been terrific.
I love it, Greg, and you're right. It's all about the money. But it also replicates what goes on in the rest of the world in soccer. You have league play, and you have a dynamite tournament.
Yeah, well, if you have some thoughts on my final thought or anything else we're into, you can email us at extratime@mlsnet.com. Now, unfortunately, that's all the time we have this week, but join us again next week for another show. I'll be here, Shep will be here, and we'll kick it around.